Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel, or welcome if you're new. If you're wondering what our channel is about and what to expect in upcoming videos, check out our intro video. I'll add a little card there and I'll link it below. You'll find everything there and you'll get to meet everyone behind Reach 5. Moreover, before I jump into any of my videos, I would like to raise awareness about certain causes and charities that I, as well as the rest of Reach 5, think are causes that deserve our attention and our support. So the cause I wanted to talk about today is the right to education, specifically a girl's right to education. For all of us who have access to an education, have a privilege we don't even realize. For all of you who know or don't know, Malala Yousafzai is a very vocal activist in this topic, and she has first-hand experience of losing your right to an education. Since then, she's endured countless struggles, even a bullet to the head, yet she stood her ground and used her voice to bring about the change she wanted to see. Her website, Malala's Fund, highlights her story, her work, and accepts donations to help her ensure that girls receive an education in developing countries like Nigeria, Afghanistan, Pakistan, India, so many more. Even though I was born and brought up in Dubai, I am still an Indian, and I've seen the lack of education girls over there receive. There are countless reasons as to why this is the case, and Malala discusses that on her website, so do go check that out. I'm gonna link it in the description below. Also, if you want to know more about Malala, her story, her struggles, and her activism, I am going to link her documentary down. It's called He Named Me Malala. I'm going to link it down in the description box for those of you who are interested, and she also has countless books on the topic. You can go check those out too. So if this is a cause that you're interested in and would like to contribute to positive change, I'm going to link Malala's Fund down in the description, so feel free to donate. Thank you. With all of that being said, we can finally jump into today's video. Today I'm going to be doing a pretty simple, bright, summery kind of makeup look that you can rock around the house because we're finally in the season but can't go anywhere because quarantine. Okay, yeah, I'm aware we're opening up slowly and all, but still follow the right precautions like masks, 6 feet apart, proper sanitation, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, so today you can either follow along with my makeup or just grab your popcorn and vibe. Okay, I'm back, my hair is pinned back, and I'm ready to get started with some makeup. So, the first thing I'm going to go in with is this primer. It's the Face Studio Prime Illuminating Primer by Maybelline. Yeah, just so you can see what it looks like. Yeah, so I'm just going to take a pea-sized amount and I'm going to dot it all over my face. Next, after that entire layer is done, I'm going to go in with this NYX BB cream. It's called Bear With Me, and it's a tinted skin veil. It's in the shade Golden Camel. That's what it kind of looks like. Okay, so now with this, what I'm gonna do is, if I look a little off-center once in a while, it's because I'm looking at myself and I'm not looking at the little camera. So I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna put a little bit on the back of my hand. I think that's enough. Always try to take a little less instead of taking extra, because then at least you won't waste any product. At least that's what I think. Then I'm gonna grab my brush, which is just this normal brush. All my brushes are from Amazon. They're just random brushes. So with this little pea-size amount, I hope you can see it, I'm going to take it on my finger. Now I'm gonna look a little off-center because I look at myself in the mirror. So, in the camera. So I'm gonna dot this on my face. So I think I've dotted it all around. I still have some left in the back of my hand, so I'm going to load it onto the makeup brush. Again, off center. Yeah, and try to drag it down your neck. You can take a little extra to like dot down your neck if you have to, but you can just try to drag whatever you already have on your face. I feel like a stippling and a little dragging method works great. And remind yourself, it's a BB cream, so it's not full coverage, which I think I prefer. I don't really enjoy full coverage as much, which I think is okay. And yeah, you can see like I do have some acne scars. I just covered it up, but I do have some acne scars, and well, acne is a very normal thing. It needs to be normalized. I don't know why it's so stigmatized. Everyone has it to some degree. People get teenage acne, adult acne, and the reasons are variable too. It's not just external. There is a lot to acne. There is, like, you can have a genetic predisposition to acne, or it can honestly be the foods you eat, or maybe you just have hormonal imbalances. There is so much that contributes to acne. It can be you using the wrong products, definitely, that is a cause, but that doesn't mean that's the only cause, right? So if it's internal, they're gonna keep breaking out regardless of what they put on their face. So yeah, I feel like that's something that just needs to be normalized. Now that my foundation is BB cream is done, it's blended. It looks a tiny bit yellow, I know, but that's not a problem. That's something that will be fixed in next steps. So next I'm gonna go in with this Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Eraser Dark Circle Concealer. Yeah, and like almost out, I need to repurchase. Yeah, now I'm gonna take this. It has a little sponge tip, as you can see. Yeah, it has a little sponge tip. So what I do with this is I will, off center again, I will use a little bit underneath my eye, just like that. And then sometimes I add it everywhere, but I don't think I need that right now. It doesn't seem necessary. So I'm gonna put that back, and I am going to take this brush to blend it out. This lighter concealer really brightens your under eye, and I feel like it kind of brings some dimension to your face after being completely washed out by one color. Also, in this video, I am losing purpose and I am rambling out about the makeup, which was not my point for this video. So the topic I want to discuss in this video is being, well, there's a lot I wanted to discuss in this video. I have a checklist of stuff that I wanted to mention, and I will keep referring to that during this video. Right, so in this video, I wanted to talk a little bit about myself, about where I'm from, basically like why I came to uni so far from my home, and when I came here to study, how it's like being an international student. So I wanted to share a little bit about that along with doing my makeup. So it's going to be a little bit of a do my makeup, chat with me. I'll tell you how the products are, and well, I'll tell you a little bit about what it's like to be an international student and leave home. I literally came across the globe. Okay, so I'm gonna grab my powder first, and then I will go back into that topic. So I'm gonna be using the Fit Me powder. I don't always use both. This one's actually new. I just recently got the Fit Me not translucent. It's a shade. It's the medium. It's in the shade medium. It's the loose finishing powder. Like this. I don't think I got the right shade. I think I got it off Amazon, so I couldn't really shade match, but I really thought medium would be a fine shade for me, but I think it's a little bit light compared to the other one that I used. This is the pressed powder from Fit Me, and this is it's in the shade Sun Beige, 310 Sun Beige, so beige, whatever you say. So I think I got the loose powder in a lighter shade, so what I'm gonna do, just so I don't waste it, I am going to use it underneath my eye. And while I'm doing this, we can chit chat a little bit more. So yeah, basically I wanted to help out students that were thinking about maybe leaving home and going to uni far from home. But before I go into that, I'm gonna share a little bit about myself and maybe like let you know who I am and who you're watching on YouTube. You guys already know my name's Janya. I am actually I'm an international student here in Canada, so I am actually from Dubai. I've lived in Dubai my entire life. I've been born and brought up there, everything, but I am an Indian. I am from India originally. My parents are Indian. Yeah, I studied in Dubai, all that stuff, and I've always been a student who's into science, and any brown kid who's in science, the first thing you really think about is, let's go become a doctor, right? Like, that's just the first thing that clicks. I always thought I would become a doctor. That's always where your mind goes when you like science, and you don't really consider other options that are available to you. And usually as a brown kid, you don't really know what psychology is. You hear about all that mental illness in the news and stuff, but well, I'm 19 years old, and when I was younger, I don't remember ever hearing anything about someone having depression or having anxiety in a brown community, and it's just not something that's openly addressed, so you're not really exposed to it, whereas everyone in your family wants you to become a doctor or become something in the medical field. So when you're into science, or like especially biology like I was, unless like if you're into like physics, then you're gonna get pushed towards engineering, and that's a whole separate field. But for me, I was into biology. I was into more the human body kind of stuff, so I was like, okay, I guess I'm becoming a doctor. And I looked into my options. I was in grade 11 at this point, and I didn't really know much about what psychology was and that kind of stuff. Before I continue, I'm using the Fit Me pressed powder on the rest of my face. I use the lighter one underneath my eyes. Yeah, so I never really knew anything else. I was never exposed to anything else. So when I found out about psychology, which I did in the summer after grade 11, I was just chilling at home, and I was like, okay, I'm bored, let's go do something. And I don't know how I ended up doing it was an online, I think it was a Harvard course or something. This was like years ago. It's not during this time when you get like a bunch of free Harvard courses. I think it was just an online course or something, and I don't know how I came across it and where it came from. I genuinely cannot remember, but I basically just came across a course, and it was on psychology, and I really enjoyed it, and I was like, okay, that's interesting, let's explore this a bit more. And I did, and in grade 12 I got to take psychology in school, which wasn't offered in lower years. So when I took it, I found out I was actually really good at this course. I didn't know of course you knew it existed, but I didn't think about when I was considering career options or like future study options. Like, it was never something I expected or thought I would do, right? So when I came across that, and that was an option I considered, so I did really well in grade 12, and I knew I was in love with psychology at that point. During year 12, I applied to a bunch of universities, and I was like, okay, let me see what happens. If I get in, I'm gonna skip year 13, and if I don't, I'll stay back an extra year. So I got into Western, I got into U of T, I got into a couple of my options, and Western was like one of the top options for psychology. So once I got in, I knew I wanted to come here. And if you're wondering why I did not apply to any universities in Dubai, that's because I feel like Dubai doesn't really have the scope for psychology. Dubai is more based on business, and maybe if you're into like architecture and like more those kind of things, where like Dubai it's a tourist country. Like, it's a country where a lot of their income is business or tourism, and psychology doesn't really fit in there anywhere. So I knew my best bet was to leave and go to Canada and study psychology in a university that's known for its social studies backing. Like it has a good reputation for psychology. So that's what I did. I know I'm kind of rambling on a little bit, so let's take a pause there and jump back into the makeup. So my face is entirely set. You can see it's matte, but there's still like a little bit of a glow through it, so it's not entirely matte. So what I'm gonna do is I am going to take this Tarte palette. It's the Clay palette. Yeah, I don't need to actually get that close to the camera. So it's the Tarte Clay palette, and it has all these, oh my god, I don't want to blind you guys. It has all these nude bronzy shades, and it has these 3 bronzer shades down here. So that's what I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using the one named Terracotta. It's the one on the left. So I'm going to be using that shade to bronze today. Yeah, we can continue talking while I'm bronzing, and I'll tell you everything. I came here to Western, and I was overwhelmed, as any student would be. And it's a crazy experience. It's new. You're alone in a whole new country and away from home. And I was always, like, I mean always of course, but I was an only child, so coming here by myself was very crazy and very difficult for me, because I mean, it wasn't difficult in a bad way, it was difficult in a way that it gave me an opportunity to grow and become more independent. So yeah, so I came here, I was always very pampered. I've never had to do anything by myself. I mean, of course, certain things, but I've never had to like go in a kitchen and cook for myself, or I never really had to do my own laundry or anything that you would expect someone to do by themselves, right? So I never had to really do that stuff. Life in Dubai is very comfortable, and it's you're just very pampered all around. And yeah, so I never really did much myself. So when I came here, I had to start doing all these things by myself, and that became a bit of a learning experience. It was difficult, I'm not gonna lie. It was hard to start doing everything by yourself, because I always craved that sense of independence. I'm not gonna lie, I always did. Like, I always wanted to be independent, but you don't realize what it's like to be independent till you actually get your independence, if you know what I mean. So once I got that independence that I was craving for all these years, well then shit became different. Of course you get homesick, because I've always, like, at home in Dubai, we always had Indian food, and that was my everyday food. And to go from that to eating like you know, like when you eat a certain kind of cuisine at home, and then once in a while you go and get burgers, or you go and get whatever, I was gonna say shawarmas, that's the Dubai in me, but then you once in a while you go and get this fast food, like, it's fine, but getting only that fast food, or only that pasta, or only that cuisine you don't really eat at home every day, that gets you very homesick. So I feel like if I got homesick for anything, it was for the food. So yeah, before I keep talking, I'm gonna dust over with my powder brush. There's just a leftover powder, just to make sure the lines aren't too harsh or anything. Next, we're gonna go in with some blush. So the blush I'm using today is the one by Gigi Gorgeous. I got it in an Ipsy bag. I got it in an Ipsy bag, and it's a beautiful, actually it's the shade Pride. It's a beautiful sparkly pink kind of shade, and it has little, I think it's little silver reflexes in it, and it's really pretty and it's really cute, and I actually really like it. It's a pretty shade. So I'm gonna grab this flat top brush. I'm sorry, I haven't been showing you my brushes at all. So I use this angled brush for my contouring, and now I'm going to use this flat top brush for my blush. Grab some on the brush, tap off the excess, and yeah, smile and apples off your cheek. I like to tap it because then you're not disturbing the makeup underneath. Because the second, like, I know of course I dragged my contour, but the more you drag on steps you don't really need to drag, you'll disturb the makeup underneath. And a little tip is, if you want to make your face look a little, like, if you want to give it more color and a little more fullness, apply your blush all the way, like more on the apples of your cheek, and I'm gonna give it like a natural kind of flush looking thing. looking thing, but if you want to give it like a natural flush, apply it all the way on the apples of your cheek, and like basically this entire area, apples of the cheek, and a little bit higher too. However, if you want to just lift your face, then just apply it on this outer part. Don't concentrate it too much on the apples of your cheek, because that will give you more of a lifted look. That's just a little tip. So yeah, back on track. Yeah, I had to start doing all this stuff by myself. It kind of stressed me out a little bit initially because I didn't really know what I was doing. So, funny story, I went to, like, our building, our first year building had, like my first year building, had a laundry room, a common laundry room, like I think almost every university residence does. And I had to go there with my first load of clothes that I was gonna do since I got my independence. And yeah, I'm carrying my basket there. I have no idea how to operate a washing machine. But one little tip is, don't let your lack of knowledge or lack of skill for anything discourage you. Like, don't let it bring you down. Don't let it make you feel bad because you don't know how to do something. Not everyone's perfect. Not everyone's done everything in their life. So what I did is I asked people for help, and I feel like a lot of people shy away from this. They're like, oh, I don't want to ask someone how to help me use a washing machine. That's awkward. Like, it's not awkward till you make it awkward. For anything, it's not awkward till you make it awkward. So I asked people to help me, and they helped me. And yeah, pause. I'm using this Becca highlighter. It's in the shade, hold on. This is in the shade Vanilla Quartz. I'm gonna blind you if I do that, so. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful white highlighter. It's very pretty. Also, before I move on from there, if you want, I feel like a nice dupe for this Becca one. This is more on the whitish side, but a good dupe for the same amount of brightness from a highlighter is this one. It's the Master Chrome by Maybelline, and it's very pretty too. This is like, I have it in the shade Rose Gold. They're not the same shade, but they have very similar brightnesses. Like, they're very good highlighters, and the Maybelline one is a drugstore dupe. So I'm gonna grab my fan brush for this. Not load up my fan brush. It's very potent, very you don't need a lot. So now we're gonna apply it to the high points of our face. You can see it's very pretty. I'm very sparingly applying it because I don't want to overdo it. But you can see it's quite bright. Because I feel like I'd rather apply a little bit less, like with everything. I'd rather apply a little bit less and then go in for like another layer than end up applying too much and not be able to fix it. You know? That's just what makes sense to me. On the tip of your nose and on the bridge of your nose a little bit. That's a lot on the tip of my nose, but we'll live with that. Cupid's bow, chin a little bit. You can see how bright this is. It's already highlighted my face quite a lot. Okay, so the next step is the one that might take us. Like, it's the one where you can actually experiment a little bit, and that is eyeshadow. So I'm gonna be using this Morphe palette. It's the Stunning Vibes Morphe palette. So the code is, I don't know, it's 35V. And I think it's a beautiful palette. It's absolutely gorgeous. If you can see that. It's a lot of shades, and it's very pretty and very versatile. You can do a very simple smoky eye with this, or you can start incorporating some colors and make it more bright and fun and summery, which is what we're doing today. Okay, so I've gone ahead and I've prepped my lids. I don't really use an eyeshadow primer. I just use my concealer as an eyeshadow primer because I feel like it still helps the eyeshadow stick because it's a little bit tacky, but it also gives coverage, you know? So as I said, we're gonna be doing a very, very fun eye makeup look, and I'm gonna figure it out together as we go. So I'm planning maybe a little bit of a pink and blue kind of color scheme. Yeah, so first we're gonna take a fluffy eyeshadow brush, maybe something like that. It's just a fluffy eyeshadow brush. We're up close and personal now, and y'all can see my eyes. I'm gonna take this, I will insert a clip of the colors as I am using them, because I can't really lift the entire palette each time I use it. So I'm gonna take this, a light skin tone shade, and I'm gonna dust it all over the lid. Right, so the next color I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna use the same fluffy brush because I just used the skin tone shade, so it doesn't really matter if I dip into anything else. So I'm gonna dip into like a medium brown shade just to define the crease a little bit. Nothing insane. Pat it in, pat it onto the crease, and then blend it in. Blend till it's literally seamless. Focus it more in the outer eye. I'm telling you, I'm figuring this out as I'm going, so you can just enjoy while I maybe make a little bit of a mess and screw up our eye look completely, but hopefully not. Hopefully it's still cute and summery and pretty as I intended it to be. So it's literally completely blown out. That's kind of what I want. I don't want too much pigment on the brown. I'm gonna do the other side and I'll be right back. Okay, so now that I have the brown shades blended out, I know there is still a bit of a harsh line on the outside, but I'm gonna use a lighter brown shade to blend that, to like blow it out. So don't worry about that, that will be fixed. So next what we're gonna do is we are going to grab a little brush. So I'm gonna go in with this brush. It's just a long fluffy brush, and I'm gonna pick up this blue shade. So I'm gonna place this on the outer corner. Okay, like down the outer corner of the eye. Then I'm gonna take a little bit more and place it on the inner corner. Okay, and now that those two colors are placed, we're gonna take the same brush and we're gonna blend them together. So for eyeshadow, you need to remember to just trust the process. It's not gonna turn out, it's not gonna look perfect the second you place the colors on there. So you need to do everything step by step and just trust the process, and it will turn out the way you want. So now I'm just gonna go in and I'm gonna blend these two areas together. So now I think I want to go and add a little more pigment on there for the blue. So I'm going to lift a little bit more on the same brush, and I'm going to place it on top of where I've already placed it and build the color a little bit, you know? I think blue is a very beautiful eyeshadow color. It looks very vibrant and it looks quite pretty. Okay, so while I'm blending, I can talk about, can further elaborate on my international student experience and that kind of stuff. So one thing I feel like there's a lot of misconception about is the university doesn't really care that you're international. And I feel like that's not what I experienced, at least with Western. So with Western, really, I feel like the university had a lot of resources for international students, and really like wanted them to feel comfortable in this whole new country, because they knew you're in a whole new country and it's not just home for you like the other kids. So they cared about that, and they wanted to make you feel included, and they wanted to make you feel like you belong, you know? So they really did a lot. I thought they did a lot. They had a lot of they knew that you needed different kind of help and different kind of resources to cope with life here, and maybe not cope, but to like, well, while you're at university basically. So for at Western, for example, they had help with like student visa or something if you needed, and for example, if English wasn't your first language, they had English language support, so you wouldn't struggle because English isn't your first language, and they're inclusive about that, right? So I feel like universities do like, if Western has it, I'm assuming a lot of other universities do too. So like, universities do have a lot of these things, and it's just not, just because it's not in front, like when universities are advertising, sometimes you don't realize it, and then you're like, oh, I'm gonna be like all these other kids already live here and I don't, and I'm from a whole different country and maybe I don't fit in as well. So you have to know that that's not really the case. So I'm just gonna finish off, I'm gonna do the same thing on the other eye and I'll be right back. Okay, I've done my other eye and I'm back, and I think they're quite as even as they can get. As you can see, I've blended them a lot, and I feel like if you don't blend enough, sometimes it doesn't look as good as you want it to look. It's the blending for eyeshadow that changes your game, ups your game. So yeah, next I think I'm gonna go in with a pinkish tone color. It's like a dark pink shade, and I'm gonna place it in this little area that I will lift open. I didn't want to cut a crease or anything because I feel like that's still stuff that's a little more advanced. So I wanted to keep these videos for people who are more in the beginner end of the scale. So like, this is quite easy to follow. It's all about placing your colors and blending, and even the face makeup, I didn't go anything too crazy with it. So this is more for, these are more geared towards beginners and people who are kind of starting off and learning to play with makeup, experimenting, need a little bit of inspiration. I'm here to be your inspiration. So yeah, pack on the pink. No need to cut a crease because you didn't put color there. So right, the pink is literally packed on the middle. Now we're gonna take a little bit of a fluffy brush and we can blend. This is clean. So now we're gonna go in and we're gonna blend these together so it doesn't look like the pink is separate from the blue. Okay, so we're gonna keep blending. Make sure the pink and the blue don't look like separate colors. They're like, you gotta make them look like one, and it will look really pretty. It'll look like a little peacock vibe, you know? So that's kind of what you want. So now we're gonna go and do the same thing on the other side. I will let you stay here while I do the other side this time because I have a little more to talk about and I'm running out of makeup steps. So, yeah. So basically, yeah, university has a lot of resources to help you out. I keep losing train of thought because I keep switching back and forth. I'm sorry. I hope my next videos are a bit more cohesive because this is my first time trying to talk while doing my makeup, and it's a lot harder than I expected it to be because I'm kind of getting distracted. So, yeah, so basically they have a lot of resources to help you administratively, but they also have a lot of they put out a lot of resources and a lot of seminars and events to help international students meet. So I remember when I was in first year, there was an international student seminar that they hosted, and basically a bunch of international students from different residence buildings went for it, and basically it was actually really cool. I met a lot of people there. Unfortunately none of them are like my close friends right now, but that's not the point. The point is I met a lot of people there, and that's where you start. You start by meeting people, and it doesn't matter if they're not gonna end up being your best friend in 2 years, but I feel like a big fear is meeting people and making friends, and I feel like these kind of events is what sparks that basically gets the ball rolling. Okay, so these are the kind of events that get the ball rolling, and then you get confident talking to people and you get more comfortable talking to people because you know that's what you're gonna have to do for a little while till you meet people who you're finally like BFFs with or something. So yeah, so that's how you start. That's where you start. You start going for these seminars and stuff as an international student, because I feel like a lot of local kids, they come and a lot of their friends from their same school end up at the university too, so then they already know people, and that makes their life a lot, well, easier, right? So when you come from a whole different country, you're lucky if someone from your school showed up at the same university. So yeah, basically that's how you start, that's how you get the ball rolling. You go to these international student seminars that the university organizes, which I found very useful and very helpful. And it got the ball rolling for me, and hopefully it does for you too. So I found that really useful. I found those very useful. And yeah, basically. Now, I don't like it when my makeup is matte. Personal preference. I don't like it when my makeup is matte, especially my eye makeup. So I'm gonna pack on some shine. So I'm gonna go in with maybe, cool, we're gonna go in this really small brush, and I want to add a little bit of glitter on top of the pink because I feel like it matches perfectly with my shirt, which is nice. We'll try to incorporate all the colors in my shirt. Maybe not the green, but maybe not the yellow either. Maybe a little bit of orange to like blend them in. But yeah, so I have this pink glitter that's right next to the pink. I'm gonna go in and place this on top. You can definitely wet your brush if you want to. Your wet brush will just pick up more pigment and make it more, well, shimmery and bright, but I'm kind of too lazy to do that, so I'm not gonna do that. And I feel like this Morphe palette, you don't really need to. You can already see that one's more bright than that one, and I love that about this palette. If you want at this point, you can go in with more blue and all that, but I won't. And I'm just gonna blend a little bit more around the crease area because I don't want any harsh lines. Okay, no harsh lines, absolutely blown out, blended out, beautiful. Right, so now next I'm gonna do my lower lash line. I think my upper eye is done, so I feel like for my lower lash line I might take a little bit of orange to match my shirt, as I said. So I'll take it on. So I'm taking this brush, like a flat top brush, and I think there's color on here, but I don't know if it's gonna transfer. It might a little bit, but it's like a reddish pink, orange, same color family. So I won't take it. Should I do orange or purple? Orange. So I won't make it too orange, so my dust a little bit on my hand, and then I'm gonna go in for the lower lash line. I feel like this complements it quite well. It looks quite nice all together. I might add a little bit of lighter color in here. I feel like the orange is too much in the inner corner. I might make another video for tips for international students, but I feel like this was more about my experience and what I experienced as an international student. I threw in a couple of tips here and there, I know, like the washing machine tip. Like, ask people for help. Don't be afraid of judgment. Like, you need to do what you gotta do what you gotta do. So if someone's gonna judge you for not knowing how to use a washing machine, are you gonna sit there and not use the washing machine? Like, you still have to. So you'd rather get judged by one person who you won't then be friends with, or sit there and not have washed clothes for a year, which I feel like is the worst off option. So right, so that's that. And then I'm gonna take a lighter color and place it in the inner corner. So I'll take this teeny, is that too teeny? Okay, I'll take this brush. I'll take this brush. It's like a small teeny angled brush, and I will go into a light shade that I can put on my inner corner. So it's this light glitter. Actually, I'll take a even smaller angled brush, and I'm gonna dip into this color. That brightens up your inner corner a little bit. As you can see, my inner corners are nice and bright now, and I feel like my eye look is complete. It's bright. You can always add a little more orange on the bottom lash line than I did, but I'm not going to add any more. I feel like that's good enough for me, and I think that's quite bright and summery as is. So now I'm gonna grab my eyebrow pencil. The thing with that is I either use this eyebrow pencil by the Face Shop, which is, it's just like a normal eyebrow pencil by the Face Shop. It's in brown, 03 brown, and it has the spoolie on one side and it has the pencil on the other side, and it's a slim angled tip pencil. Hold on, let me show you properly. It's a slim angled tip pencil. You can see that it's very skinny, and it's a perfect shade for my eyebrows, but I feel like this is more when I want to shape my eyebrows and fill in my eyebrows compared to when I use my brow gel by also the Face Shop and in the same shade. It's just a normal brown tinted brow gel, and it has a small or like kind of like pyramid shaped tip, Christmas tree looking tip, but it's cute, and they're both good. This is more when I just want to fill in my brows and my brows already have shape, or if I want to actually shape my brows. So I have two options here. I think I'm just gonna use the brow gel today. Yeah, I'm gonna do my brows and I will be back. We're back. The brows are done. I like to comb through with the spoolie even when I use the brow gel, just so it's not too clumpy or weird or anything like that. It's just like spread out the hairs again. I'm gonna just comb through with the spoolie. I like the bushy brow look. I feel like it looks really nice, and it looks less put together than like the structured brow look, but when you do want the structured brow look, the pencil is always better. But for like a cute boy brow, the brow gel does really well. So next we have mascara. I'm using the Bad Gal Bang by Benefit. I love this mascara. I've purchased it twice. It's great. Because of the bendy tip, which it does have, there's a lower chance that you're gonna get mascara all over your lid and onto your eyeshadow. I'm not saying there's no chance, because that always happens and it's really annoying, but it's a lower chance than if you have a really big wand. And this is I think less volumizing and more lengthening. So let's do the mascara. I'll do it with you for one eye, and then I'll go off camera and come back. Okay, so this is what 2 coats of the mascara looks like on my right eye versus my left eye. So I have very, very small eyelashes, and it's something that is kind of, well, not an insecurity, but it's just sad. So I have very small eyelashes, so the fact that you can even see, like, you can see what a dramatic difference this is. It is volumizing and it's a little bit lengthening. So you can see on this eye I actually have eyelashes, where on this one you probably can't even see one. So I really like this mascara. It makes the whole look come together a little bit. I will go on my lower lash line too. So yeah, I'm gonna finish up the other eye and I'll be right back. Okay, mascara is done, upper and lower lash line, and you can tell mascara really changes the makeup game. So yeah, so mascara is done. Next I'm gonna go in with, I don't really wear eyeliner on my top lid. I've just never been able to perfect it, so at some point during this YouTube channel I will keep practicing my eyeliner and I will get it right, and I will do it on here for sure at some point. But for now I use these pencil eyeliners. This is the Smoke and Shine by Rimmel London, and I use it in on my waterline, like my tight line and my waterline. So I'm gonna go and do that. And as you can see, it makes the biggest difference. It makes your eye look more cat-like. It makes your eye look a little smaller, so you can see this one looks a lot more almond than my normal eyes are. So I'm gonna go and do the other side too. Okay, now that water lines are done, I'm gonna go in tight line. Okay, waterline and tight line are done. I feel like my eyes are complete, and it's really cute and summery and fun and bright, and I kind of love it. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back in with my highlighter, because I think the highlight on my eyebrows got covered when I did my eyeshadow base. So I'm gonna go back in with this, and I have a smaller fan brush that I can use for that part, so I'm gonna do that. And add the highlight back there. Alright, It gives your eyebrows a little more of an arch too. So I think we're in the last step now, which is lipstick. So I'm gonna, because my eyes are so bright, I'm gonna go in with this Sephora lipstick. It's in the shade 76. It's in the shade 76. I'll link it down below, don't worry about it. So yeah, usually I like to apply a little bit of a lip balm before I apply liquid lipstick. Okay, so that's the lipstick. I think that looks quite cute. It's just a simple nude because I can't really wear a dark or like a bright lipstick with my bright eyes. It will simply look stupid. So yeah, so you balance it out by wearing a nude lipstick with your bright eyes. And to top it all off, I am going to be using this Fenty Gloss Bomb in the shade Fenty Glow. It's the brown one. And I really enjoy this lip gloss. It's very glossy and it's buttery and it feels great. So I dab it on so I don't overdo it. And yeah, that is the completed look. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna set it all in so it doesn't go anywhere. I'm using this iconic London Prep Set Glow, and you shake it up, shake, 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 and you can see it's all marbly and pretty. So now we're gonna back up and we're going to set it all in. Gonna do like a practice spray. Okay. I think that's enough. And usually I would have something here with me, but we can just use this Morphe cover and we're gonna dry our face. Usually I like to grab my sponge and just dab the shine away. Right, so that is our completed look. I'm going to take my hair down and look a little more put together, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back and I've put on the same headband I had at the start of the video, and I put my hair down, made it look a little more proper, and I think the whole look came together very beautifully. I actually love it. I didn't have this planned in advance, so I'm actually glad it turned out the way it did. I think it's bright, I think it's summery, I think it's beautiful, and I think it's easy to replicate, and I think that's what's important, right? You don't need that much stuff. You need 3-4 shades. Yeah, go out, have fun. I hope this inspired you to try out this makeup look, play around a little bit more, and just have the fun you're supposed to with makeup. On top of that, I hope my stories and experiences about being an international student and about me and where I'm from and why I chose to come here, I hope all of that helped you or would help someone you know. And yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this video and stick around to see more of what me and my friends have to offer. Thank you!